Before you were even born, your body created something that has never existed before and will never exist again, your fingerprints. Before researching this topic, I didn't realize how much science went into something as simple as a fingerprint. I learned that fingerprints begin to form before birth. Every single fingerprint is unique to each individual, and we use them in our everyday lives much more than we realize. Today, I'll be explaining how fingerprints develop before birth, why every fingerprint is unique, and how they're used every day. First, let's start with how fingerprints are formed. Fingerprints begin developing around the 10th week of pregnancy. During this time, small pads called volar pads form on a baby's fingertips. As the baby continues to grow, friction ridges begin to develop across those pads, and the environment inside the womb helps to shape them. According to Glover and colleagues 2023, by the time a baby's born, their fingertips are fully developed. Research by Kukan and Newell 2005 found that once fingerprints form, they don't change. And I found this very interesting because throughout a person's whole life, even as they get older in age and their hands get bigger, the fingerprints don't change on them. They just simply stretch along with the skin and they don't take on a new pattern. Now that we know how fingerprints are formed, let's talk about what makes fingerprints unique. The three main patterns are loops, whorls, and arches, and although genetics determine the general fingerprint, they don't determine the tiny details. Small differences are created in conditions in the womb, including movement, pressure, and growth. Even though there's only 3 fingerprint patterns, there are millions of different combinations because of those tiny ridges inside of those patterns. Scientists look at features called ridge endings and ridge splits, which are unique to every person. That's why 2 people can have the same loop pattern but completely different fingerprints. According to Maltoni and colleagues 2009 and Hune in 2015, even identical twins have different fingerprints. Because fingerprints are unique, they become the most popular way to identify people. Fingerprints are used every day. Police use them for investigations in identifying people. Many of us use fingerprints to unlock phones and computers and devices. Some workplaces use fingerprints for scanners to clock employees in and out. Some banks use them. Payment apps use them for fingerprint recognition to help identify and verify a person's identity before completing the transaction. According to Ulatini and colleagues 2026, fingerprints are also widely used for security systems, but they rose privacy concerns, and it has become one of the most common forms of biometric securities because of the convenient and difficult ways to copy it. In conclusion, today we have learned how fingerprints develop before birth, why fingerprints are unique, and how they are used in everyday life. Even though we don't think about them very often, our fingerprints have been with us before we were born. They're used throughout our lives, and they'll remain one of the unique things that are in our lives. So the next time you leave a fingerprint on a glass, remember that no one else in the world has the exact same fingerprint. Thank you.